The real value of a real estate business is in the rent roll. Now, some can be much more valuable than others. Now, the ones that carry the highest value are those that have established systems, strong net growth in properties and fees, low staff turnover, and a leader who monitors and maintains strict KPI performance. To get a better understanding about how you can go about making a rent roll more profitable and therefore worth more money as an asset, I caught up with a leading property manager, Stephanie Campbell, who is the Senior Property Investment Manager at LJ Hooker in the city, Sydney. Stephanie cut her teeth in property management, running a portfolio of 300 properties before moving to her current role as department head. She's been the recipient of many awards for excellence and is acknowledged as a rising star by the leading property managers of Australia. What are the key areas you focus on to increase profitability in your business?
I think the major thing you need to focus on, Kevin, is business efficiency. What's efficient versus non-efficient, and where you're spending the time and the effectiveness of it. The more efficient your business, the more profit you'll get.
So what are some of the areas you see businesses going wrong?
I think discounting of fees is a major one because that dramatically decreases your profitability. Also, property managers getting into what I call a glass ceiling mindset, that they think that they can only manage a certain amount of properties and they're not willing to exceed that. Obviously, the more properties that one particular property manager can manage, the better your profitability is because you've got less people managing the property management department.
So what is the ideal number?
There is never an ideal number, Kevin. Each office is different. It really depends on the skill set of the property manager. It depends on the location of the office, what type of properties you're dealing with, whereas if you're dealing with a number of little studio apartments or properties worth $4,000 a week, there are obviously a lot more work that's involved with them. So that is a magic question no one can answer.
It makes it very hard for the business owner, doesn't it, though, to know whether or not the information they're getting from the property manager about the numbers is real. That's
right. So that's where principals really need to take a good look in their own property management department and to see, the numbers. I guess it shouldn't be based on a number figure, like, 200 managements, that's when there's no room for a property manager to exceed that. It should be based on income produced, and what's very important for principals to also measure is making sure that those wheels don't start to wobble in terms of service. You don't want to overload someone and the service that you're getting is not top-notch, and then you start losing the managements and trying to play catch-ups.
Yeah, it's a catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You've got it's that glass ceiling, I guess, is what you're talking about,
yeah.
to know. So is the measure for the owner then, when the wheels do start to wobble, that maybe we're at our peak?
That's right, and you'll know when the wheels start to wobble because the complaints will start coming in and you'll get that indication of when it's starting to happen. But I guess you've got a plan to ensure that it doesn't get to that point. So by having a long-term goal and trying to slot in when it is that you think you need to start recruiting for a new person.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about the good news calls that you make. That probably could be the early warning device for you that
Correct.
maybe the wheels are beginning to wobble a bit?
That's right, definitely.
So how does that good call concept work?
Yep, so every 2 weeks myself and my director will print a list of our current landlords and just basically call them just to check in. No particular reason that we're ringing, 'cause normally property managers are calling for a repair or an issue or something like that. It's just to check in, make sure that they're all okay, if there's anything that we can improve on, and just have a general chat just to build that relationship.
It's well known that property management adds greatly to the value of a business. Why has it taken the owners so long to realise that?
I think it's always been the little brother syndrome. I think that sales has been this glamorous money-making machine, and property management, as you said, just kind of happens with a real estate business. I think over the past 10 years there have been a little bumps in the sales market, obviously not right now, and it's forced principals to look at the property management department because cash flow with the sales hasn't been as strong. So once they've focused on the property management sector, they realise the potential of it and how much income it could potentially make them.
How has technology changed the way we do property management?
Great question. Efficiency. That's probably the most important thing. The integration of other software programs with your trust accounting software such as REST and how that's made it much easier in terms of condition reports and routine inspections. It's all done now on iPads. The other thing is it's reduced the amount of staffing levels that you require because of all the technology that we have available. And also communication to clients. The communication is a lot quicker but more quality. So for instance, you do get your photos and it's instantaneous, and coming now I think there's a lot more potential for technology. I think the use of video is going to be a major part in property management. Also, virtual assistants is a new thing that's on the rise. So our office has just recently started with a virtual assistant, and all she does is generate leads for the office. I also think that programs such as Inspect Real Estate is going to be a major thing with tenants booking in inspections, so it's not wasting property managers' time by going to properties if no one's going to be showing up.
So it's really a matter of the technology's there, it's harnessing it in your business to be more effective.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm interested in the information flow going to the internet and then owners being able to look at that in their own time. Is that an important part of your communication?
Yeah, so the online portals is definitely, especially when you have clients that are overseas and there is that time difference, when they need things instantaneously, they don't need to wait on the delay for a property manager to get back to them. And I just think they like having access to the back end of everything that we're doing for them. It makes it more transparent. And I think the trust is increased based on the fact that they can just log in, have a look at where their tenant's currently paid up to, have a look at any photos or reports or anything really that they need, statements and whatnot.
So that makes you pretty much accountable to the owner, really, doesn't it?
Definitely does. And I think that's a good thing, because I think that some property managers get sloppy, and by having it there, it kind of nips that in the bud.
Stephanie says there is a direct link between efficiency and profitability. That is efficiency through the use of technology. I was interested to hear that Stephanie and her team employ a virtual assistant. Now that's a development that we're going to be hearing a lot more about in the future, I'm sure. The big mistakes, according to Stephanie, discounting fees and the glass ceiling of capability. How many properties can a property manager handle? Stephanie says it is not about numbers, but more about basing that decision on income. Think about the good news calls that Stephanie referred to. It's like a pulse check on your business. But like every good idea, the power is in the implementation. I'm Kevin Turner, and I'll see you next time.